Om Tat Saviturvaram Rupam Jyoti Parasya Dhimahi Yanna Satyena Deepayet. Om Tat Saviturvaram Rupam Jyoti Parasya Dhimahi Yanna Satyena Deepayet. Om Tat Saviturvaram Rupam Jyoti Parasya Dhimahi Yanna Satyena Deepayet. What we just chanted is Sri Aurobindo's Gayatri Mantra. Even here, the focus is making matter conscious, making the body conscious of the divine. Jyoti Parasya Dhimahi, the Rupam should become full of light, the form should become full of light. Not only the mind and emotions, but the body should be illuminated with that divine force and light. And Sri Aurobindo has come to do that. All the other yogas neglect the body, neglect the physical frame. But in Sri Aurobindo's yoga, it's not about leaving the earth, leaving the bodily wants and likes and sitting somewhere and just focusing on the higher light, but to bring down to the cells this divine light, to make matter conscious, make earth conscious, the earth body conscious. Sri Aurobindo says somewhere, a divine life in a divine body is the formula of the ideal that we envisage. A divine life in a divine body. There are so many lines in Savitri when Sri Aurobindo describes Savitri, how he describes her body as being plastic to that spiritual light. There's literal description of her bodily parts also, which is so beautiful. So each part is so receptive that it's directly able to hold that divine light. I'll read some of these lines. This wonder of the divine artists make, carved like a nectar cup for thirsty gods. The divine artist has made this body fully conscious. This breathing scripture of the eternal's joy. The body is described as the breathing scripture of the eternal's joy. This net of sweetness woven of aureate fire, transformed the delicate image face, became a deeper nature self-revealing sign. This body became a deeper nature self-revealing sign. However, the spirit is inside, the body is reflecting that. A gold leaf palimpsest of sacred births, a grey world symbol chiseled out of life, her brow a copy of clear unstained heavens, the Divine Mother's eyebrows a copy of unstained heavens, was meditation's pedestal and defense, the very room and smile of musing space, its brooding line infinity's symbol curve, its brooding line infinity's symbol curve. How the eyebrows are formed, the curve is infinity's curve, he's saying. Just imagine the vastness of the mother being described. Amid her tresses, cloudy multitude, her long eyes shadowed as by wings of night, under that moon gold forehead's dreaming breath, were seas of love and thought that held the world. Were seas of love and thought that held the world. Marveling at life and earth, they saw truths far. A deathless meaning filled her mortal limbs. A deathless meaning filled her mortal limbs, as in a golden vase's poignant line, they seem to carry the rhythmic sob of bliss, of earth's mute adoration towards heaven, released in beauty's cry of living form towards the perfection of eternal things. Transparent grown the ephemeral living dress, bared the expressive deity to his view. Transparent grown the ephemeral living dress, bared the expressive deity to his view. So in this context of Savitri, Ashwapati is asking for that light. When we'll all turn to that inner light, we are all moving in circles of smaller things, but we are beings of light. When will that be achieved on earth? Then once he's told all this, he is actually receiving a voice from the heaven saying, you are mortal beings, but you have the light within you, but when are you going to open that up? When are you going to release it? Then after that whole voice, after the conversation, then Savitri walks in. So that time he is not seen his own daughter as this body of light, as this divine goddess, but then he realizes that she is the one, she's a gift, she is threading the earth to bring light. And that's what transparent grown the ephemeral living dress, bared the expressive deity to his view. So our topic today is how to make this body conscious, how to really live Sri Aurobindo's yoga. And we know in the ashram how much importance is given to the physical body. And every year there's a big sports celebration to an extent, sports day events, and people as young as 3-year-old to 80-year-old perform there. They do such beautiful drills, and you will not believe the flexibility, the mobility in their body, how gracefully it moves, even a person who's that old, because from the beginning the ashram institution, the discipline was set to train the body. Mother has said this is the adhara. In all our spiritual scriptures it says this is the base. If you are receiving the divine light, your body should be able to bear that light, hold that light. There was a case in an ashram. So everybody is in this competitive spirit. Every year they have these competitions, sports, and they want to make best in the records, like beat their past records, beat another person's record. So there was this young boy, barely 18, 19-year-old, and he was doing this javelin throw. And mother is sitting there watching the game, seeing everybody perform. And he looks at the mother and with great intensity calls for her force. And he beat all the records unbelievably. The javelin went really, really way past. So he could receive that much, but at the same time, his body after that episode couldn't hold it. He became a little, say, his mind was not good after this episode. He was not able to grasp it. We cannot ask the divine force and not be able to hold it in the body. So there should be a preparation in the body. And I'm not telling, and even Mother Sri Aurobindo, they don't stress that, okay, we have to vigorously train like how we see in this modern day. Every step we have a gym and everybody is so fixated about the looks and, this particular weight, I have to fit into this way, I have to fit into the society and so many things. But she says simply the basic movement, simple walking, if you are just conscious. Say in all our guest houses in the ashram, if many of you would have stayed in any of the Pondicherry guest houses, ashram guest houses, near the staircase there would be mother's message there, how she says how to climb the steps consciously. So don't take it as a chore or, oh my God, I have to walk these 20 steps. But step by step, be conscious. Conscious also in terms of remembering the mother in every step, and also just observing the body's movement, the harmony in the body, how the body is flowing up and down, taking step after step. But don't think that it's a burden to be doing this. Okay, at some point the elevator is not there, there shouldn't be that big disgust or resentment, oh my God, how am I to bear this? But ask her help, call her and do it slowly, and be aware of this beautiful body the divine has given, full of harmony, and what kind of discipline and internal discipline the body always follows, right? So body is that obedient child, if you can see, but the point is it is always under influence of our mental ideas and our vital passions. So if the body has this capacity to only to obey, but it will easily obey to the psychic command, it will easily obey to the divine. But being, like Mother calls it, the slave, it will just obey to everything. So the vital and the mind, the emotions, mind puts so much influence on the body. Even to that extent, Mother has said that when you say first time you are taking to alcohol or something, the body rejects it. The body knows there is some very different reaction in the body. This is not good for me, right? There's some burning sensation in the throat or something like that. But we don't take that body suggestion. We say, oh, mind comes in, the vital comes in. No, it's fine, I can cope with this. So number of times we make the body slave to these bad habits. And one episode Mother says, a real incident. So there was this person who was training a chimpanzee. Well, he was with a chimpanzee, used to be with that chimpanzee, and he had a little social gathering in his house. So he wanted to make a little prank in front of his guests and all. So he happened to give little alcohol to this chimpanzee. So it drank. Poor thing, it has no idea how bad it is, what will happen 5 minutes after that. So it went completely dizzy and crazy. It was jumping, it was feeling extremely uneasy and all that. And then it was going through a lot of physical churning, pain and everything. And okay, it went through that phase. And another time, again a similar social setting. So that person, the owner, again offers it a little. This chimpanzee is that clever, it ran miles away from that. Like, I went through this, I will not, it is something so harmful to me, I will not get into this again. But we human beings, because of the mind's insistence, the vital's insistence, we are making the body just succumb to the wrong things. We are using that one capacity of the body being gullible. And if we see that body is very sensitive and it follows a discipline. If you see the functioning of our organs, we are not in control of our heartbeats, our digestion. Everything happens so smoothly, so spontaneously. So Mother says there's already an inner discipline in the body. So why not also give it the outer discipline? So she says specifically, it's good that you have a particular time of meditation, particular time of waking up. so that body gets into the rhythm, so that there's no room for any tamas or fatigue or coming to the body. Even she says, when you get fatigued, it is basically there's some disharmony in the body, because everything is going in one direction. Mind is saying something, emotion saying something, body is saying something. But if we all bring everything under the control of, say, the psychic, the inner voice inside us, the mother Sri Aurobindo inside us, then it's that beautiful harmonious flow. And there would, yes, I wouldn't say the body should not take rest. We must understand, it needs that few hours of sleep every day, and you should honor the body when you can't stress it to a great extent. So mother says, yes, this body by its very nature is a docile and faithful servant. The mind with its dogmas, its rigid and arbitrary principles, the vital with its passions and its excesses and dispassions, soon destroy the natural balance of the body and create in it fatigue, exhaustion and disease. A constant union with the psychic center of the being. This tyranny can be got out of only when there's constant union with the psychic center of the being. And again, we are trying to make the body beautiful, harmonious, and to an extent, our yoga, as we told in the beginning, it is not about detach ourselves from the body like how other yogas do. The body is an obstacle for me. No, for us the body is the vehicle. Radhika, can you reduce that echo part? The body is a vehicle, and we have to use this and nourish it spiritually, physically, everything. So matter should be plastic to that spiritual light, Sri Aurobindo says in Savitri. And once there was this group of Russian gymnasts. So mother was extremely happy to see their performance. They were there in ashram for a week or something, and they were doing this incredible feats. So mother said, yeah, the body is so plastic, and she's saying this mastery can be attained so easily, and these people are not in any kind of spiritual discipline or something. Imagine if using the mastery of the body already and having that aspiration to spiritual light, how much more can be achieved. So I'm reading what mother says about these Russian gymnasts. And these people who are materialists by professions, use no spiritual method in their education, who solely by material means and an enlightened use of human will, they had achieved this result. If they had added to this a spiritual knowledge and power, they could have achieved an almost miraculous result. We have seen many cases in our ashram also, like Monada and so many others, how so consciously they trained their muscles and they did such elaborate, difficult exercises. And there is a series, it's also there in YouTube somewhere. So some sentences which mother gave, like matter, spirit conquering matter. So for all of these, 2 or 3 boys were doing different kind of poses. And while they were doing, you should see how chiseled their muscles are, how sharp, and basically they are offering, that body is being offered to the divine. Use me, do the best, work in me, like that. So that insistence of mother always says, infuse consciousness in the cells of the body. How can you be aware of the cells of the body? And mother has done this work for us. So we all know in later part of 50s, 60s till 73. And mothers in Sri Aurobindo's yoga are actually stopped till bringing the supramental light in the earth atmosphere 1956. And mother continued. She took this plunge And how will this supramental light act on matter? How to make this matter so plastic? So she's made the matter plastic for us. She's worked on cell after cell, organ after organ, how they will function directly under a divine command. She says a change of government, and you read of agenda, she says change of government. You are all being governed by habits and samskaras and of the animal creation, however the evolution took place, all that is still taking charge. But how will they all be controlled by that one supreme highest light? So when people used to see the mother, sometimes it used to be difficult for her to eat a few things. Like the process of eating was such a painful process for her, because the whole digestion and everything was going through that change. They are in the transformation of not in the authority of the older patterns and samskaras, but they are getting the command only from the spirit. So what we think, oh, mother is shouting, oh, mother is crying, oh, mother is not able to eat. We are seeing so much from our own human angle. But today also I was reading in agenda, she says, you feel that I am feeling discomforted. It is not. I am receiving something more. Like all these organs are turning to what they must be, and this is the future. Like we are all going to have these transformed bodies. When with mother is just showing us the way. She is the captain of our ship, and we just have to look at her and follow her. So she says body is a means of the sadhana and should be maintained in good order. There should not be an attachment to it, nor a contempt or neglect of this material part of nature. So through physical education, we must make our body strong and supple enough to become a fit instrument in the material world for the truth force which wants to manifest through us. That's why 1956, February 29th, sorry. Mother's in the playground, and there's this immense descent of the supramental light. So the next rung in the evolution, which is the supramental consciousness, has descended physically, and earth has accepted, because Sri Aurobindo is working in the background and mother is feeling that it has descended. But we ordinary sadhaks, we don't feel anything. We are rolling our mats, meditation time is over, and we are going back. So that means the body is so still rigid, it is not able to feel. But mother felt such a huge descent of light. She gives an image that there's this big door, and she's standing there with a hammer breaking that door, and finally the door broke away, and this flood of light coming on earth, and playground had that experience. But we are so narrow, so rigid, so worried about, okay, dining room, I have to go for dinner. We didn't realize anything. So that's why, because the body is not conscious, even though ashram has such a disciplined routine, which we were talking about, of so many things like march past and the drills and everyday group activities, everything. Even so much is being done, but our body is such, is holding all the animal in it and everything in it, it's not able to receive. So how much importance mother gave to these things, like they have a yearly competition, and for every competition she would send a message. And message is not that, okay, all the best dear children, may you clear your records or anything like that. Even there she would mention, okay, you are doing this to make matter conscious. Do it in that attitude. So she's saying in one of the messages, it might be better to remind you that we are here for a special work, a work which is done nowhere else. We want to come in contact with the supreme consciousness, the universal consciousness. We want to bring it down in ourselves and to manifest it. But for that we must have a very solid base. Our base is our physical being, our body. Therefore we have to build up a body solid, healthy, enduring, skillful, agile and strong, ready for everything. There is no better way to prepare the body than physical exercise. Sports, athletics, gymnastics, and all games are the best means to develop and strengthen the body. So when you read these messages from the mother, and you're not just going on the field, okay, in that competitive spirit or anything like that, but you're going with this attitude, the body should be made stronger to receive the universal consciousness, the supreme consciousness, to strengthen the body. Another message she says, I must tell you once more that for us spiritual life does not mean contempt for matter but its divinization. We do not want to reject the body but to transform it. For this, physical education is one of the means most directly effective. Next message. Since the beginning of this year, a new consciousness is at work upon earth to prepare the men for the new creation, the Superman. For this creation to be possible, the substance that constitutes man's body must undergo a big change. It must become more receptive to the consciousness and more plastic under its working. The substance, what the body is made of, should change. It must be more receptive to the consciousness and more plastic under its working. And 1969 this message was given, and January 1st 1969 mother writes in her prayers, somewhere she writes that it was a special day of the descent of the Superman consciousness, not the supramental being, but the one in between, the Superman, the next rung in evolution, is an intermediary being after man. I know quite a few sadhaks, they're actually really focused on the body and the exercises they do, and they go work on part of the body, feel the resistances in the body, in their meditation, and open that to a light. And while doing so, we do see some clearing, some opening, some knots, some emotional disturbances which the body is also taking. Whatever we go through our cycles, churnings and everything, these emotional disturbances, the body manifests in some way or the other. Mother says, somewhere in some context she said, it's like the cells suddenly multiplying, and they don't know what to do, because the body is, in general, human being, the mindset is filled with desires, running after something or the other. The cells also think, okay, they have to run after something, they have to multiply. So internally, some of the organs, some of the cells are multiplying and forming knots, forming some cancerous formations and everything. So the body takes the beating. We said in the beginning, it is such a docile servant. Whatever happens, it is taking the marks, it is taking the hit. So it's always better, even daily meditation, pray to an extent, aspire that the body should be conscious. It shouldn't hold on to anything. It's just giving whatever it is, all the pains, aches, discomfort, everything it is offering. And sometimes it really works, like even our day to day. Say if you are feeling, like 1 or 2 occasions I observed in myself, just 2-3 days back, I was feeling a very uneasiness in the throat which suddenly came, and when generally it comes, I knew next day I'm going to have a very bad irritation and throat pain and everything, and it's a cycle of 10 days to recover out of it. And I had a trip to go to Pondicherry. I just came last night. So I was actually the prayer was not even sincere. It just came that, Mother, I'm coming to Pondicherry and I have some work to do, and I don't want to be sick and I don't want to travel like that. It just came like a thought. Then I forgot about it. And within a few hours only, I could notice that whatever that formation had come, it had gone. So the body is really receptive. The body absorbs. It will absorb both bad, good also. But if we can always, carry the body along with us in our meditations, in our aspirations, prayers and all, it's so easy for the body to absorb it. So how to really look after this body, Mother gives us a lot in that Science of Living. These are like, sometimes talking about all this sounds very preachy, but we tend to neglect few things, like the importance of food, the importance of exercise, proper sleep, proper rest, all that she talks about. She says it is always the right inner poise, quietude, inward and outward, faith, the opening of the body consciousness to the mother and her force that are the true means of recovery. Other things can only be minor aids and devices. And we all know, like, when you just take selectively food, and how we can, like mother has said this beautiful mantra for all of us: remember and offer. Every step, whatever you're doing, remember and offer. So when we have a plate of food in front of us, and this has been followed in our traditions, in our families for many years, and always in many of the families they will take a little portion of rice and feed it to the crows, feed it to the animals. Then that is also a way of offering to the universe to some extent. And you know how much has gone into that food, you know, what are different vibrations. And the soil again is like inconscient, right? It's in the lower creation. So the creepy crawly things around there, and there are a lot of inconscient things that, you know, the plant has grown out of, and then the humans come in, the farmers come in, they are putting in their thoughts, their intentions, their hands, you know, just it's going through a process of unconsciousness. So when you come and the plate is there with you, when you just say, okay, this is prasad, you know, and I'm going to take this as prasad, as mother is giving me. Whatever unconsciousness is there in the food, it's offered to the mother, so it is so conscious, and this is only for nourishing me spiritually so that I can work better and better. And mother says we should develop a taste for food which is simple and healthy, substantial, appetizing, free from useless complications. And she says all these things we should start from the childhood. Imagine that training. So the child should know. Actually, if you see, many children, they know how much to eat. It is just the parents feel, you know, this container has to be eaten by the child, and they just force the child, see the sun, see the moon, make it eat and everything. But when they say enough, we should understand, because they are very physically sensitive, the children. Even recent times among our community, like the kids in the community, I have noticed that they have this fancy for chocolate, they eat. After 2, they say, I can't eat more. So that greediness is not there. That was so surprising for me to see. So how mother is talking about the body substance is changing. You don't need, it is just in the air, like mother has said, supramental consciousness is working in the air. You're breathing it, know it or not, you're breathing it. So the new children who are coming, they're all somehow, like I remember in Alok Das talk, he'd say all these computers will have that trademark, no, Intel chip or something like that, right? So these kids are coming with that chip when they are born. You know, these are supramentalized children. So, and you also see a lot of different new children, they are being born. Their skin is more clearer. They don't have, I've noticed it in some cases, they don't have so much hair. The skin is smoother, and they open their eyes quicker and see the surroundings. And all this is what is like the divine just accelerating that evolution. So she says, even when you're growing a child, and you shouldn't tempt him with food, like, oh, do this work beta, do this homework beta, I'm going to give you ice cream. Don't tempt him with food. Why to create that equation with food? You shouldn't be doing that. I'm sure many parents have this tendency. Somehow they want the work to be done, the children's studies should be done or something. You shouldn't create that kind of attraction to food. Food is just for mere nourishment of the body, but don't tempt it like a toy and say, do this, you'll get this. It's very bad. You shouldn't bring in food to discipline your children, she says. It's like when body left to itself, it is actually very, very conscious. Like that. So eat when you actually are hungry. so many small things, and eat the right quantity. Don't eat too less, don't eat too much. And it comes to sleep also, make your sleep conscious. Just before sleeping, have a aspiration, a will. And she says, read something very enlightening. For all of us, we can read Savitri or anything like one stotra of the Gita or whatever you feel, and just sleep in that thought. And she says, make your body imagine it to be like a crumpled up rug. Then now spread, like really open every part, every limb, stretch yourself out in the bed and just consciously open. I'm opening my mind, I'm opening my limbs, I'm opening my legs, hands, like that. Go organ by organ, part by part, and really get into the deep relaxation and chant mother's name a few times. Then that sleep is so beautiful, so easily you get into a very luminous sleep. And she also says, don't get into big arguments just before sleeping. Don't watch anything too violent before sleeping. Actually, mother was so particular about the vibrations her children will face, like in the ashram. So there was one occasion, a group of sadhaks who wanted to watch a movie. They went to the public cinema hall and watched the movie. Then she said, oh my God, children, you shouldn't get close to the vibrations of ordinary people. So she started cinema in ashram. So every Saturday we have cinema in our ashram. Even when people used to eat outside, she would say, she would make an ashram, set up a little eatery and make sure that it's hygienic and very nicely prepared with the best of ingredients. My children shouldn't be contaminated with outside things. One time the sadhana was so concentrated, it was like golden period of sadhana at that time. Mother would say that when somebody is offering you something, say, okay, some mangoes have grown in my house, I'm giving it to you. You should be careful from whom you are taking. There is so much of exchange of vibrations, and everybody used to take permission from the mother. Can I take? This person is saying he has X number of things and he wants to give me. Can I take it? So it should go through the mother. So if you ask her, that thing has already been offered and the vibrations have been nullified by the mother. It's just that mother is giving you, and that other little vibration you are not going to get. So to that extent, even now if we cannot, we can inwardly tell the mother, but when we are getting things and everything, it's better that we inwardly offer, and so with these kind of notions has given me, I'm offering this to you, this particular, remember and offer, this incident, everything you keep relating to her. So with regard to exercises, again, he spoke a bit of exercises, and again she said how rigorously you must follow some rhythm and do it. And she says here, it's not necessary that you do these, go through excessive training and all that. Whatever you feel your body is suited for, do that. Even Hatha Yoga practices, she used to say the same thing. And the Hatha Yoga we know of today, we can just purely call it asanas. Because Hatha Yoga, it was a stream of yoga practiced by our ancient people. Still now maybe there are some very serious practitioners. Literally it was making every muscle, every movement conscious, holding on to those poses for many hours together. And what we are doing is such a simplified, immature version. We call it Hatha Yoga, but it's just a set of asanas, and it is good for all of us to do for flexibility and everything, but we cannot call it Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga itself means union with the divine. So through the bodily movements, union with the divine. So what we are doing now, we can bring in little of that consciousness, but we are not doing how originally Hatha Yoga is being practiced. So recently also we had the Kumbh Mela, right? So there are so much of this true Hatha Yogins. So they have some sankalp in the body that I will not move my hand for 50 years or something. So there were some of them. You're just holding their hand and their body, that they will not move. That is that will they have put in that muscle, will they have put it in that hand. So that power they're trying to reach by somehow. So I know a person in Bombay, so she is into Mother Sri Aurobindo's path. She attracts a lot of young people. She's attached to a school and she's basically a yoga instructor. She uses Savitri to do yoga. 1 or 2 of our online sessions I've done. So she would say, breathe in with half a line of Savitri, breathe out with the remaining half of Savitri, something like that. There's a line in Savitri, breathing the divine spiritual air or something like that. So she'll take these lines, all can be done, and if the God touch is there, all can be done. Then release the God. Like very beautiful, like instilling it in the body itself. And when also, like while you're doing these movements, while you're doing basic exercises, and you need to like slightly put that extra effort, stretch a little more, and you should think that you are not doing with your effort. It is the mother, and you ask her, I want, okay, my leg is reaching only this much, I want to reach 2 inches more. Mother, you through the body reach it for me. Because you're putting the load on her, putting the weight on her. It is not your personal thing anymore. And even simple like Surya Namaskar or something, like see the intention behind it. Like for every, say you're doing 12 rounds and there are 12 names of Surya. Okay, it could be Ravi, Savitri, Mitra, like so many names are there. So with every round you're invoking that name of the Surya and you're doing, and how the movements are so beautiful, like you're bringing your hands together, you're in union, the whole body is coming in harmony and you're pointing upward. And again the body is like ascending to the light. Like if you in the background, instead of just saying, okay, count by count I should do 10 in 10 minutes. Like why do it so mechanically, but just do like an offering, do like a yoga, do like a prayer, like that. And when it comes to simple work, like whatever work we are doing, Mother says the work is the prayer for the body. Whatever movements, see how Mother has brought in that. Work is body's prayer to the divine, she says. Even simple things, in just doing something in your house, keeping things tidy, like observe your body, how harmonious moving. Are you moving in a very jerky fashion, very haphazard fashion? Can you do it more smoothly? Just bringing in that little bit of awareness. And we all know Mother played tennis till Mother was 80 or something. She played, and her strokes were so beautiful. And our sadhaks, they would not want Mother to run, and they would place all the ball as much as close to her as possible. And Mother would notice the people who have come for the tennis, and she would have told them, okay, I'm meeting you tomorrow. And if they miss, she will ask them, why did you miss? And it is not about the body getting strengthened and all. You are playing with the divine. The Divine Mother is playing with you in every stroke, every shot. She is removing some obstacle in you. She is removing some inner challenges inside you. And it is not about winning or how proud my movements are. Mother noticed it. Nothing like that. So beautifully Mother used to tell them, you think I have a joy, just hitting the ball with you. No, you don't know how much of work I'm able to do inside you when I play with you. She's telling here, with each stroke I remove their mental and vital difficulties of ego and desire. Thus you see, even in tennis, I'm helping each one to solve their difficulties and to grow towards progress and perfection. Keep alive within you the ideal of beauty that is to be realized. Sooner or later, you're sure to reach the goal you have set for yourself. For all exercises, Mother would say, for long jump, she said, it's not merely for the pleasure of doing it. It is with the idea of making your body more perfect in its functioning, an instrument more fit to receive the divine forces. For sports are simply a means or pretext for infusing consciousness into matter, perhaps even a different consciousness, or perhaps simply to help clarify a certain number of cells, thus allowing the consciousness to come. Sports is just a pretext of infusing matter with consciousness. And many of the psychologists and all also recommend this. Say if you're feeling stuck, you're going through some emotional challenges, you have anger issues, get into a sport, tire your body, feel the movements, feel the force acting. Like your body is tired and it will not hold down to all the old reactions, anger or anything, and you're releasing all those vibrations into the open, and not again with that I am better or some attitude, but just for the joy of playing. So mother says, how can you increase the receptivity in the body? To begin with, first condition, remain as quiet as possible. You may notice that in the different parts of your being, when something comes, you do not receive it. This produces a shrinking. When something comes, divine light is coming, but the body is not welcoming it, it is shrinking. There is something which hardens in the vital, the mind or the body. There is a stiffening and this hurts. One feels a mental, vital or physical pain. So the first thing is to put one's will and relax this shrinking. Put one's will and relax this shrinking. As one does a twitching nerve or cramped muscle. You must know how to relax, to be able to relieve this tension in whatever part of the being. Then widen themselves, identifying themselves more and more with the sky. Then calling peace and tranquility. Thus she says, remain as quiet as possible. If you find any shrinking, any twitching, learn to relax. Then widen yourself. Identify with the sky. Identify with something vast. Then call peace, tranquility. And she says, call peace like how you would call a friend. Just call peace, 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 calm, calm. Like, just call, it will come. Like that she says. How you call a neighbor, how you call a friend, call peace, she says. Maybe now we can just remain a little quiet for 5 minutes. We'll try this. Remain as quiet as possible. Notice the shrinking, some hardness. Notice which place, which part of the body it is coming. First of all, let's be like very relaxed. Back straight. If you want to rest it on the chair, rest it. Palms open. Remaining quiet as possible. No thoughts. Start anchoring on the breath. If any thought comes, don't get carried away, don't go behind the thoughts. Bring it back to the breath. you find any pain, any shrinking, identify that part of the body and talk to it. Tell it to relax, tell it to offer. You are not the pain. While relaxing, expand, widen. Imagine the body to be vast as the sky. Let the shrinking melt in that vastness. Let us feel peace. Let us call peace. Inwardly calling the peace while being so vast. In this state, we listen to some words of Savitri. O strong forerunner, I have heard thy cry. One shall descend and break the iron law, change nature's doom by the lone spirit's power. A limitless mind that can contain the world, a sweet and violent heart of ardent calms, moved by the passions of the gods shall come. All mights and greatnesses shall join in her. Beauty shall walk celestial on the earth. Beauty shall walk celestial on the earth. Delight shall sleep in the cloud net of her hair. Delight shall sleep in the cloudnet of her hair, and in her body as on his homing tree. Immortal love shall beat his glorious wings. A music of griefless things shall weave her charm. The harps of the perfect shall attune her voice. The streams of heaven shall murmur in her laugh. Her lips shall be the honeycombs of God. Her limbs his golden jars of ecstasy. Her breasts the rapture flowers of paradise. She shall bear wisdom in her voiceless bosom. Strength shall be with her like a conqueror's sword, and from her eyes the Eternal's bliss shall gaze, and from her eyes the Eternal's bliss shall gaze. A seed shall be sown in death's tremendous hour, a branch of heaven transplant to human soil, a branch of heaven transplant to human soil. Nature shall overleap her mortal step. Fate shall be changed by an unchanging will. Nature shall overleap her